Who are the best rappers of all time? Think about it. Honestly, that's one of the most complex questions of opinions that can be asked. I'm not the biggest rap fan. This pop/rap amalgamation is the worst thing ever, since it was two guys sitting on a stoop in Brooklyn saying poetry real fast. But that's for a different video. This is just Blizzy 9's greatest rappers of all time. The basic thing to do is to give a list of a top 10. I'm going to do 12 and in no particular order. So here we go. I'm not going to mention Slick Rick or Curtis Blow or anybody from that era simply because people don't mention Dr. J and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as opposed to mentioning Shaq, Michael Jordan, Kobe, because they built the bakery. I'm talking about the Bakers. So, Eminem said it goes Reggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, and Biggie, Andre from Outkast, Jada, Kurupt, Nas, and then me. And Eminem had a pretty good list. I agree with him on a little bit of it. But first off, I'll give him Reggie because Redman was great. Had some good albums, had some good songs, had a lot of good features. He didn't make a big splash in mainstream like he should have, but he was right up there with Method Man, had a Wu-Tang connection, and my brother loved him, and my brother taught me most of everything I know about music anyway, so there it is. That's one. Of course, Jay-Z is The Rock, one of Brooklyn's finest. He might make the top of my list, depending on how I'm feeling. Between the Black Album and the Blueprint are his greatest contributions to the game. So, there you go. That's two. Tupac and Biggie. They require no explanation. That's 3 and 4. Now next is how I feel about Outkast. How I feel about Outkast is how some people feel about religious leaders. Seriously. Outkast has had a lot to do with my own life philosophy. Outkast has had a lot to do with just me. My love for music, my love for the South, my love for thick dark-skinned girls with nappy hair. All these things came from songs and albums and a couple of movies featuring Outkast. It's beyond explanation how much I love Outkast. To say Andre is better than Big Boi is hard for me because they're both so good together. For Andre, I'll give him lyrics and music. I tell people this, I give Andre music, being an artist, even in some movies. But when it comes to just rap, I gotta give it to Antoine Patton. That's Big Boi, he's the man. People slept on Chico Dusty, it was a great album. And I know Andre will do fine on his album whenever it comes out. But them together is so much better than either one of them apart. Their contributions to the rap game, Stankonia, Aquemini, one of the best albums ever. Southern Playlist of Cadillac Music, I think was one of the first rap albums I ever really listened to. The Love Below My Speaker Box, and Who Didn't Like Idlewild. If you didn't like Idlewild, end your life. That's 5 and 6. I gotta deviate from Eminem's model a little bit here because out of Rough Riders, I picked Drag On. If you don't remember Drag On had a couple of singles. He had a good album in my opinion, although it wasn't worked on very hard, but it did go gold, opposite of H2O. Had a couple others. Swiss Beats did him right, but they didn't develop him as well as they should have, especially when he had some of the hardest verses. It was usually gunplay, but he had a twist on it that just, in my opinion, he was the hottest spitter on Rough Riders. He didn't necessarily have the deepest lyrics. He made it work. On every verse, I feel like he killed all the songs. You know, he had Down Bottom, Niggas Die For Me, Bang Bang Boom, Spit These Bars, and then he had verses on a couple of Eve's tracks. That's 7. 8 is Eminem. You know, his biggest contribution, I say, his best album anyway, was the Eminem Show. Eminem is so relevant that a lot of times you almost forget he's white until he says something about being white, till I collapse the song from which that verse came that I talked about earlier. Hot song. Hot beat. It's something I listen to when I work out. You know, it's one of those types of songs, but it still makes you think. That's 8. 9 is Ludacris. he made a great contribution to the rap game, an album called Word of Mouth. Word of Mouth can be played start to finish, no skips. Not very many albums can say that. He has great wordplay, a hot spitter, but at the same time, the way he throws punchlines, his metaphors are spectacular. He has a clear intelligence that, like I said, sometimes he wastes because he plays around so much. But Ludacris, catch me on a day where I'm feeling Atlanta, even though Ludacris isn't officially from Georgia. I still gotta say, he's always in my top 5. If we're ever to take one rapper still alive and put him up against other rappers, I would probably take Ludacris because of the diversity of his songs. That's 9. Number 10 and 11 are the members of UGK, B-U-M-B-P-I-M-P-C. There was so much that you could have done with a booty shaking song, and UGK did more than that. UGK was basically a cleaned up version of the Ghetto Boys. How crazy does that sound? UGK, the Underground Kings, made underground cool. Spots 10 and 11, like I said, there's no particular order. The last person I say is important to the rap game because he actually made a good movie with rappers. T.I. made ATL with rappers about hood life and all types of junk like that. But it was actually a good tear-jerking movie. ATL was set contemporary. Really made you think, really made you feel. And the whole time, I wasn't looking at him as an actor. I was looking at him as a rapper. King, his greatest contribution, playing the whole time. I'm a movie guy. And when you can take rap and put it in a movie like that and make it make so much sense, that's my top list. And then honorable mention, number 13, the Louis Vuitton Don. I'm not gonna say his name because I don't like him, really. And I don't like Chicago. But because Late Registration and The College Dropout were 2 of the greatest hip hop albums ever made, Graduation comes close to those 2. Because he made all 3 of those, he gets a mention. But that's it.